Alright, before this video even starts, do me a favor. Hit that like button and maybe subscribe if you're feeling froggy. Alright, welcome back everybody. Back at the shop, off of work a little early today. Had to go run and do a couple estimates. First things first, still haven't gotten the broken bolt out of the EGR block off plate. So that's the first thing I gotta do. And then I'm probably gonna hang the turbo and probably look up a YouTube video of how to do the regulator return, because I've never done one before, so it should be interesting. Alright, you guys saw in the last episode, part, whatever you guys want to call it, took the truck outside, cleaned it all up. You can actually see the tranny belt housing now. This is all literally covered in grease and junk. Ooh. This is a bolt I broke off yesterday in the last part, if you saw that. But new injectors are in, everything's torqued down, both driver side and passenger side. I got the billet pedestal mount, turbo pedestal mount, mounted on the valley of the motor. And then that's when I broke the EGR bolt. So I believe what I'm gonna do is take the welder to this, weld a nut on it, and just see if I can't get it off that way. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all that set up. Alright, got the what the heck? Got the welder all set up, got my nut. Gotta get me some gloves on. Of course I put on the bad helmet. We have like 7 different welding helmets in this garage, and only one works. Aha! Success! First try, look at that. Alright, EGR delete is back on the truck. I actually just re-threaded the holes for 2 grade A bolts. So now hopefully if they do break, number 1, it'll be easier for me to find a bolt for them. Number 2, it is stronger and I don't believe it will break. So next I'm going to be putting on the adapter line that goes in the oil feed for the turbo. It goes right in the hole. And then the feed line goes right on top of that. Then I'm probably going to hang the up pipes and then the turbo after that. So alright, up pipes are on there. Just nice and loose. Got the pedestal mount on there. Actually, this kit is actually pretty nice. It all goes together pretty nice. But I'm about to go put the turbo together because they sent me the exhaust side off the turbo, which is totally fine. I'm totally okay with that. And yeah, I'm just gonna prep the turbo, get it ready to go on the truck. This is exactly how they sent everything to me. I had the turbo, compressor side, and the cartridge all in one box with the bolts, and exhaust side with the gaskets in another box. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that all ready to go and get it thrown on the truck. Alright, turbo is hung, Y pipes are on there. They're not tight because we still gotta do the regulator return. So yeah, it's kind of crazy how small this exhaust side is compared to stock. This thing is dinky compared to stock. Really gives you some more room in there though. Everything's looking good so far. Alright guys, just got back. Took a little smoothie break. Went and got myself a smoothie because it's kind of hot out. I do live in Florida, so I don't know where I left off, honestly, but I did get the fuel pump on there. I know it's all dirty. I still got to wipe it down. The inlet side is not plumbed in yet because I'm going to be doing a sump instead of a draw straw setup. But everything's all plumbed up. yes, I have to cut all the zip ties and all the ends. Plumbed up to where it does come into the fuel lines here. I still have to drain the fuel tank, so that's why the fuel pump's still on here. I'm still using that to drain the fuel tank. Right now I am working on the air motive regulator return, and then after that, I believe that's actually it. But before I leave today, whether I get all that done or not, I need to clean up because I got like footprints everywhere. It's driving me crazy. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and continue working on that, as this is as far as I've got. I got the new AN fittings going into the heads. It takes out the banjo bolt and those little hard lines where there's the one that goes to the passenger head, and it replaces it with an AN fitting, and I forgot what kind of line this is, but you get the same thing in the back of the head. You got a fitting that comes in, and you tighten the lock nut down to go on the head. Same thing, line coming over, and these will actually go to the regulator return, which will be on right in front of pretty much where you sit, which is the actual regulator. So yeah, I'm gonna keep working on that, getting that cranked out. I'm actually really happy with how this is turning out, besides how disgusting I am. We should be pretty close here soon to dropping the cab back on and reassembly. Also, I am waiting on my tunes to come back. My custom tunes, I still have not got those, so we can still run the truck, but we can't really beat on it yet until we get those. So I'm gonna get back at it. Okay, I think that plumbing up the regulator return probably took me longer than it did to do all 8 injectors on both sides. But it's all done. Still got to tighten up the fan shroud, put the alternator and belt back on. But pretty much the regulator return deletes your return from the fuel bowl with the spring, where it's always at one specific pressure. So now it's gonna have the regulator return, which is adjustable. So it's got the feed line that comes in from the fast fuel pump all the way back there. Dang, I've done so much to this truck. Comes in, that's the only line going to the motor now. And then to both heads, obviously out of there. And then to the back of the head, which normally there's a plug-in. And these go straight to the regulator, and then the regulator from there goes straight into the return line that goes back into the tank. So, I just gotta do the fan shroud, alternator, and then plumb up fast fuel pump, cut all my zip ties, zip tie a couple more things on the motor, like this fuel line that goes under the exhaust, which is kind of scary, but that's how I was told to do it. So gotta zip tie that down, and then we should be good to go. And then I'm gonna clean up the rest of the shop, because as you can see, I'm tripping over stuff and I'm dropping tools left and right, and I don't know where anything is. So alright guys, everything's all buttoned up, at least as far as the fuel system goes. I just gotta snip these. Push locks are all pushed into the fuel line. I don't really like how these jump out to grab the fuel lines off the fuel pump, but I can't really help it. That's how they are. They're angled and they're hard lines. Turbo's on, up pipes are all tight. regulator returns on. This is how I zip tied it down onto the IPR. That's how I was told to run it. Goes over to the other head. These go to the regulator return or regulator. That one zip tied to the dipstick. This is the only one I'm kind of scared about. Comes out of the head and it goes under the alternator. I wrapped it with hose and it's still, I don't know, still kind of iffy. Scares me a little bit, but only thing I'm waiting on now is tuning, and I still got to get my sump, but the sump is just right down the road at the shop, so that won't take long. And then we can throw the cab back on. Well, actually, we don't need any of that. We can throw the cab back on now and get this thing ready to run. We will be at the track Saturday with the car for track cores at Bradenton. This thing might be going, I don't know. I gotta get slicks because that's a slick in like a radial day only. So, as always guys, thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe.